Hey, greetings, everybody. After a long period of time, I've considered doing some training on a book that I really enjoyed, and I've read through it, and right now I'm reading through each chapter 10 times, and I'm about 90% of the way through doing that. And the book is The Science of Getting Rich, and that book has really changed my life. It led me to through a lot of little journeys. Next to the Bible, it's probably one of the best books that I've ever read in practicality and how to go through life and in business, really. And I identified several fundamental flaws in myself while going through this book, and I was able to identify them, rectify them, and work on those. And since I've been doing that, life has changed. As far as I have a job and I still work my business stuff on the side, and but I happen to work myself into a job where I work part time and get paid full time. I work 10 days on and 10 days off, and I get 10 days paid vacation. So the weird scenario about how it all happened and everything else like that, I faithed myself into that job with God's help, of course, and some answered prayer and some things like that. But before that, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that we could do such things, and that we actually did have control over circumstance in our lives. And so what I want to do is I want to start a series, and I want to start a teaching on how we can begin to control the circumstance in our lives and begin to work forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to start teaching this lesson starting, and I don't know when I'm going to stop the series, because each time I read the chapter, I get to a good spot. What happens is that something jumps out at me that I have to explain, because what happens in my mind is, I find it very, if somebody tells me something, and if I can't get a visual picture of how it operates, or a visual picture or a visual understanding of how that thing works, it's very difficult for me to grab the concept to where I can live it out, so where I can bring it into a practical sense into my life. I feel that's a major barrier for a lot of people. A lot of people, we can read a lot of self-help books, a lot of self-development books, a lot of things like that, but putting the things that are in that book into a practical action, or understanding what they're getting at, so that you can put it in a practical action, is very difficult. And it's been very difficult for me for, I would say, all of my life. I started working in self-development and working on myself probably at age 30. And now I'm 52. And I've read, all kinds of books, just everything that I, voraciously, everything I could get my hands on. But until I read this book, it was very different. And the reason that I got into this book was because I was listening to Bob Proctor, and I was listening to some Tony Robbins, and I was listening to not Zig Ziglar, but I was listening also to some Brian Tracy, and I noticed that these guys were saying the same sentence. Even Jim Rohn they were saying like the same sentence. I'm like, well, these guys are saying this exact same thing. Like they're all getting it from that source. But nobody was telling me what that source was. Nobody was getting that out to me. And I'm like, man, where are these guys getting this information? So when I began to, study things, Think and Grow Rich, and I started getting into tracing some original sources. Where did Jim Rohn get his information? Jim Rohn got it from Earl Shoaff, and where did Earl Shoaff get his stuff? And when I started doing that, I got way back to the success system that never fails, and and some classic Earl Nightingale things and Nightingale Conant, but I got all the way back into the 20s and things with like Florence Scovel Shinn, and you know, in the 70s there was Raymond Hollywell, but this book, it's different. It says it right in the preface, and it really, really does what it says. It is a practical manual, and if you'll do what it tells you to do, it will help you get rich. Now, I'm not rich yet by any stretch of the imagination. To some people, we might be that way. I don't know, but am I there yet? No, I'm still growing and I'm still developing, and I'm going to continue to grow, and I'm going to continue to self-develop, because that's who I am as a person. And if you'll look on this channel, a video of me in late 2015, where I don't know, I'm not sure what month it was, but you'll see that I was working then as a digital world agent and working a job, and I'm still here. You know, I'm still working a job and I'm still working digital world as an agent, but that's okay. I've chased down some rabbit holes, and I tried to how would I say this? I tried to chase money. I tried to do banking for the marijuana industry and credit card processing for the marijuana industry, and then we started a CBD oil company that tanked, and now we're starting another CBD oil company we just started called Zogena. So in all this, I've learned quite a bit. And like my wife said, I have another business opportunity coming up, and Soli told me, she said, if you do another business, we're done. She goes, because if you would have stayed with credit card processing in the very beginning, we'd be doing a lot better than we are right now. And she's totally right. So I would have to say that Zogena and digital world are going to be my future, and there's nothing really in between. So if I do, I'm in big trouble. We've been married 31 years, and I love her with all my heart, but she's the lifeblood of everything I do, really. And we have grandkids, and I love them to pieces. They're the best. But if I fragment my mentality anymore, you lose focus. You really do. You lose focus, and when you lose focus, you lose your ability to move forward. You really do. So you have to maintain focus. There's a good book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker, great book, and he says, how can I do both? And I agree with that. But it's not how can I do triple, quadruple, 5 times, how can I have this marijuana banking business, a kiosk business, the CBD oil company, and digital world. How can I do all of that? You become fragmented. There's only so much that you can do, even with me having the amount of time that I have. So without further ado, I don't know when I'm even going to upload this, or if I'm going to upload it. But I'm going to be doing a series of teaching from the book by Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. And if you're on my team in Zogena, or you're on my team in Digital World, I totally think that you should get this book, Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. I think that you should get that book and begin to read it. And I wouldn't read too much into it, because I'm going to go through it all with you, but I would begin to read each chapter. And when we work through these series, I'm going to be teaching it. But while we're going through chapter 1, or while we're going through the preface, all I want you to do for that week, all I want you to do is begin to read that, and read it again, and read it again, and read it again. I like to apply the principle of tens. And what the principle of tens is it's a principle that you really don't get something until you've read it 10 times. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've read these chapters 10 times. And I'm going to continue to read them 10 times. And I mark them through 10 times. At the end of every chapter, I'll show you that I've read them 10 times. And I did some other things too. Is I got the book, and I actually did a printout of the book and put it in big pages. And there's a reason that I did that, because I put them on one-sided. One side is, the printed copy, and on the back side is just a blank piece of paper, an 8 by 11. And I did that because I can scribble, take notes, and write it out and study it out. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. I'm encouraging you to study it out as we begin to work through these lessons. I just decided to do this, and I'll probably embark on this journey starting tomorrow. So with all that, God bless you guys. I'm excited that hopefully you're going to be on this journey with me. You're the best. God bless. Have a great night.